Hello, everyone. This is Josh, also known as Yashu. You're just tuning into another edition of the TLOY Talks podcast. You can get this on all platforms: Spotify, Apple Podcasts, YouTube, Buzzsprout, Patreon, and much more. And I'm just gonna get it like started right now. So this artist has blown up on TikTok via open verses, has amassed like hundreds and thousands of streams from like a lot of his like singles, has released like a debut EP called like Let's Start Over, is set to perform alongside Quasi and Charmaine, an Oakville Hamilton bred artist who has done it like his own show like just like last week at Duffy's in Toronto. And we have B-Row in the building. How are you doing today, man?
Doing all right, man. How you doing?
Doing all right, man. Like I've been like tapping in with the music for a bit too, just with some of the stuff. Like I think you had like your own exclusive like playlist too, and like I've noticed that like a lot of the songs like had like a unique vibe to it, with the similarities between like A Boogie, Dirk, Sleepy Hollow, and all that too. And then like even with the like Let's Start Over EP too, because I think with the old singles versus like the new one too, there's just like kind of like a contrast too, where I think Let's Start Over is like more like R&B based, whereas like with the singles it's like more like rap stuff and all that too, like rap R&B-ish. So it's like an interesting vibe and all that, So
yeah, man.
And I think it's like maybe my first actual time having an actual like Oakville bred artist like in the building. So I want to get it like started right here. So you grew up in Oakville and Hamilton, correct?
Yeah, so I grew up in Oakville till I was 17. We ended up moving over to Waterdown, so kind of in the Hamilton area. For the past 5 years, been living out there. Honestly, like it's been great. Just kind of growing up in Oakville. Like I had great childhood. I mean, had fun. I was really close to my brother and my cousins, so it was very much like a a unity thing. So I know it was just great though, man.
Yeah, man. And I mean, Oakville and like Hamilton too, because I know Hamilton, like it has like a buzzing like music scene too, with like Lil OT, friggin' Arkells. Like
Yeah.
I know there's like certain artists too, like there's like a big like media platform like Ian McMaster, I think with a radio thing called like Because Design Matters, that has been showcasing like a lot of like artists like in Hamilton, like with Mike Checks and much more too.
Yeah.
So was it big back then in terms of the music scenes growing up, or was it like different?
So for me, I'll be honest, there wasn't any music scene for me, to be honest with you, especially in Oakville. There wasn't anything really going on. Like there was a couple guys from my high school that was, making songs, but nothing to that extent. When I moved over to Hamilton, wasn't until a couple years into then I met some of the guys that I've been working with. I don't know if you know Young Dave Bangin'.
I think so too. Like
Yeah.
in a sense, so yeah.
He actually just got a TLOY record on his album. He's actually in the hospital right now. But shout out Dave, man. But now I've been working with those guys for the past couple of years. It's been awesome. So they kind of introduced me to the music scene out in Hamilton. So I mean, it's one of those things where it's like you kind of get accustomed to it, you get used to it, you kind of move your way around. So, but it's been awesome though.
Yeah, man. No, that's dope.
For sure.
And like growing up, what were you like from the start of birth until now?
So growing up, I was definitely much a happy kid, I guess you could say. I was very chill to myself. I had a couple of my friends, I'd hang out with. Nothing, I wasn't at a big friend group. I would say I was kind of popular. I wasn't everywhere though. I wouldn't be at the parties. I wouldn't be hanging out with them. I'd be at the school, kind of chilling. People that I know from school, I just kind of say what's up to them. But really to myself, very creative guy as well. I would say I love kind of making puzzles. I love kind of doing those arts and crafts, shit like that. So I think the music stuff just kind of fell into my lap, right?
Right, that's facts, man. And to get more into like music in that sense too, so like what was like your first like introduction to music, and were there like artists or genres you kind of like grew up like listening to and all that?
Yeah, so like when I was a kid, my parents, I didn't listen to any rap like at all because my parents didn't like it, I guess. But it was a lot of reggae, a lot of R&B kind of growing up, just in the house, in the car, all that type of stuff. But it wasn't until I get to like grade 7, my brother started, showing me like Kendrick, started showing me like more of the mainstream stuff. I was listening to a lot of mainstream music. And then it was grade 8. I remember I was watching, my friend showed me this, the Double XL Freshman, the 2016 one. I saw Uzi, I saw Yachty, I'm like, hey, this is kind of cool. So I started, freestyling, writing raps to them in my English class. We had this notebook to write our feelings, whatever. And for the day, I was like, nah, I'm put some raps in there, right? Make some diss tracks. But yeah, it's kind of how it started from. A Boogie was my guy off rip, man. Like I loved his music, related to it a lot. So it was kind of, that was just for me. It was like, okay, yep, no, this is where we're going,
Right. Yeah, that's facts. I know with the 2016 like Double XL Freshman too, I think it was like a good fit too. But like I remembered back then, because I was actually like the first to witness it. Like not a lot of people were like kind of like rocking with it too, because like a lot of people wanted like more of like the conscious stuff and all that too, because they wanted like Mick Jenkins, Tory Lanez, Bryson Tiller, Post Malone, because like that was like when like the R&B rap phase kind of came in for
Hmm.
a bit too, and like everyone was kind of surprised when Uzi and Yachty kind of like showed up for a bit too, and like 21, like I think Kodak kind of made sense too, and like I know also other people wanted like artists like Main Tokyo and Playboy Cardi who wanted to
Yeah.
be like in the 27 who were like in the 2017 one to be in the 2016, but times it's crazy,
I get it, man. I remember actually one of the things they kept saying how they didn't like Savage and Kodak's verses
Yeah,
because they were, I guess, messing up or whatever.
yeah,
But it's like, I remember shit and I'm like, these guys don't give a fuck. Like, these guys are just on it, you know?
yeah,
I
man.
liked it, man.
No, it was a vibe too, and usually I ask this for like every guest that I have like on the pod and all that too. So, did you ever buy like any first CDs or bought like a song like on iTunes like for the first time and all that?
Nah. I just had my actually I didn't get Spotify until like 3 years ago, to be honest with you. So
Oh,
I was using some weird app on my phone to get music. So
alright.
that was me, man. But
Yeah, I know what you mean,
oh
bro.
yeah.
Yeah, and I mean, you had like a previous experience as like a basketball player from I think the previous like interview you did like on your channel and all that too. So, like, what was it like, playing basketball and till you like kind of like left to pursue music and all that?
It was fun. It was definitely work though, I'll tell you that. Like me, when I stopped playing, just give you an idea, I was about 5'6" when I stopped playing. I'm about 6'3" right now, so I
All right.
grew a lot afterwards. But like I was short, so I didn't have the best advantages. But my dad was always telling me, he's like, "Yo, like just become good enough where they can't say no to you." So that was kind of the mindset going into basketball. And I mean, although it didn't work out, I'm grateful for it because it's like it just teaches you how to lock in, right?
Yeah, that's facts. And I think we talked like a little bit earlier that you had like family that like played sports and all that too. So, what was like that experience like too, like seeing like your family like play ball and all that?
Oh man, it's amazing. Like my brother, he's on the Blue Jays right now, so
All
he's
right.
on the minor league team.
All right.
He's playing up in New Hampshire for this new season, but he's in Florida right now. He's one of the biggest influences to me, man, because he's just a grinder. Like he just gets it done, you know. And then my cousin Shaden, he's on the Blazers, same thing.
All right.
It's just it shows like you can really do it. You know what I'm saying? It's just one of those things.
Okay. Do you have like a top five like when it comes to like NBA or like basketball like of all time and all that?
Like players,
Yeah.
NBA, and people gonna throw shade, but my number one is Kyrie. That's my
All
guy.
right.
Number one. Number two, I'd have to give it to like Prime Westbrook. And then I'm going Jordan, Kobe, then LeBron.
All right.
There we go.
That's a good list either way too. Like I already like stated mine like on like some past like podcasts too, but
Yeah.
no, it's a good list like either way too. And to speak more on like A Boogie and all that being like a major like influence like when it comes to your music. So how has impact like in style like changed the way you define music in a sense?
Well, it was one of those things where I was like, okay, I could see him being vulnerable on these songs. I'm hearing him telling the real story about certain things. That was kind of my opening, where it's okay, you don't need to be a gangster, to make music. You know what I'm saying? You don't need to be living this crazy life to kind of. So it's just like at the time I was going through a lot of nonsense when it comes to girls. So it's just like that was kind of my outlet. And A Boogie was kind of like the guy that was said it was okay to kind of do that. So I look up to him in that sense. So for sure.
Do you also have like other artists like that you want to like work with like someday musically?
Yeah. So that'd be Tori. To be honest with you, I think he's great. If I were to do something with Tori, I'd love to make like an '80s project. I have a bunch of '80s songs that I've made kind of in the vault. But I'm willing to work with a lot of people just because I like just seeing their creative process, just see how they do things, how their mind goes, right? And yeah, Boogie obviously, is gonna be there too. So
All right, that's facts. What did you think about the album that he dropped just like recently?
I like, bro. The story is great, man. I think the fact that he's able to record that, from jail says something. Shout out the engineers. I mean, it's just grit, man. It's one of those things like you can't teach someone to do that. You know what I'm saying? Like I get it because it's like you got to get something done. You go get it done.
All right, that's facts because I know he had like this like whole family like on that project too, which it's like kind of sick too. Like just like hearing like Destiny, Hollywood SOS, it's a vibe either
Yeah.
way too, and then Yoko Gold. So yeah, man.
Yeah, man.
What's your creative process like when making music, and like what would like a day in making music or recording music be like?
So when I'm like recording, I like to have time, as much time as I can. For example, say it's like a Sunday, right? I'd wake up, might get food, might not. Say I'd
Yeah.
literally go to the studio, or it's just in my crib, so I just, hop in my chair and then I play a bunch of beats. Might go through maybe 50, 100 beats, and then I'm just there making melodies. Yeah, so it'd literally be, singing there, humming. Then I put words to it. If I like it, I might get the hook done, If I don't like the hook after that, the verse isn't really speaking to me. Okay, next song type of thing. Then I just go from there. So it's definitely, it can be either very quick or very long. I sometimes songs have been made in a half hour. Sometimes they've been made in 5 hours. So it just depends on kind of what I'm catching.
Yeah, that's facts. And what I like about your music is that you use like a lot of like samples like for the production and even within like the bridge of the music too. So like with like Jeremiah, like I think you've used like a sample of his. I think you've used like some pop artists too, which it has a unique vibe and all that too. So to speak more, do you feel like that using samples helps with the creativity process?
1,000%. Like it's one of those things, like it's ideas over ideas. You know what I'm saying? So it's like my bro could give me an idea. Same thing, Aaliyah could give me an idea. You know what I'm saying? So it's like I just like kind of feed off of things because you get ideas, you get inspiration for things. It's like, okay, now I can lead this in a certain direction. I know for the upcoming projects I do have with Home Run, the same producer, we have this one crazy Aaliyah sample. Um, you just got to hear it, man. It's one of those things that you just like, how the hell did he do that? You know what I mean?
That's facts, man. You actually also blew up on TikTok that I just actually found out recently with like open verses and all that too. So how did that like come about and like what was like that experience like like even like getting like a buzz from that platform?
Yeah, so it was really cool. I mean, I know. Okay, and this is advice to all other artists kind of coming up. Like, do the things you don't want to do, man. Like before that, I did not want to have to do the open verse. I don't want to have to export all the audio and like do the video, all this. Like I didn't want to do this too much, right? But I was like, hey, like I'm not getting no traction. Nothing's really going on. Like I might as well do it. So I get the thing done. And actually the first piece of content I put out was this. There was like a TikTok filter and it could put like a beat pattern on it. And then there was one girl that made a beat to it, and I was like, okay, well, I like the beat. Let me rap to that beat. I didn't really do anything professional. I just kind of put my mic over it. But then I was like, okay, well, it did pretty well. So I was like, let me hop on, Lil TJ song, Drake song.
Yeah.
And the people on my TikTok, like, shout out you guys. Like, you guys have loved the Lil TJ, especially Polo G, Lil Durk. It's really kind of brought the community to my page a lot, and it's like something I'm very grateful for because like it's just skyrockets you, right?
Yeah, like I've met like a lot of people that kind of like blew up on TikTok and like they used it like to their advantage to like within like the music process too. And like I think like a lot of artists who are even like opening that bridge too with the open verses too. Like I know like Kavai Mighty did that. I know that I think there was like some like pop artists that like did that as well too, and like some producers, and it kind of bridges in like within that creativity and all that too, which is amazing to see. So
yeah, and man, it gave me confidence too because like I'm there, and I knew I was good the whole time, but it's like putting my verse on these things, and the people are receiving it nice. I'm like, hey, like I know I'm built for this. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah,
like, I hear myself with these guys.
Yeah, that's facts, man. And I want to talk about like Let's Start Over, which is like a very unique EP that you and Home Run Hits did, and I wanted to figure out like what was like that whole creative process and inspiration for that.
Man, this is shout out NGS. These are the guys from Hamilton I was talking about. So they connected me with Home Run. It's actually Young Dave's cousin. So with Home Run, it was very natural. It was one of those things like he just sent me a beat. I was like, okay, beat's pretty good. I like it. I make a couple songs. I remember when the first, I think 5 to 10 songs we made, like they were good, but nothing like that I was too crazy about. But and then we just kept making beats. And then I remember he sent me Get to You, the first song on the project, Get to You. And I love he had these little bells on there. I was like, hey, like this is nice. And then the hi-hat pattern had this, it was talking to me. So like from then it was one of those things. I'm just there like, let me really give this a shot. Let me see what I can really do with these beats. And there were different beats. I wasn't normally rapping on those R&B type of beats. And then for Friend Zone, the third song, that beat actually is about 9 years old from Home Run, right? It's an old beat. And he's like, how'd you even find this? He sent me a folder. I'm just there going through all of his stuff, right? He sent me a folder. I find the beat. I'm thinking, okay, here we go. So Home Run, he's great, bro. Like, I'll be honest, like my favorite producer because he's musically just gifted. He knows what he's doing. He's clean with it. Very, put together guy. So it's like, it just translates and he respects my talent too. He's like, bro, if this is the way you want to go with the song, bro, I'm all for it because I know you're gonna, do pretty good with it. So, Home Run's great, bro.
Yeah, that's facts, man. And I want to also ask too, like, what makes him like different from like all like the other producers that you might have like encountered with or that you hear like musically and all that too.
The little things. I mean, if you listen to the project and the beats and the snare pattern, like he has the snare pattern is just different. Like it's something that I haven't heard before. That's what drew me to him as well. And even just his approach. He talks to me about when he's creating a beat, kind of what happens, and it was very similar to me. I was just kind of just there step by step. It's not really like a end plan. He's just kind of going with the flow, and like it just relates to me. So I think it's one of those things like it resonates, so matches up.
That's cool, man. And like knowing that your music is like very like compared to like Dirk, A Boogie, CP Hollow. Like I've noticed it too. Like just with the cadences, the styles, like even just like with the melodies too. It's like amazing to hear. Do you feel that it has like helped you like in a way, or did it like kind of like hinder it in terms of how people want to perceive you like musically and all that?
Nah, because they're right. Like I listen to Dirk a lot, listen to Boogie a lot, listen to these guys. So it's like obviously it's gonna come through my music. Now sometimes I get it's like, hey, what if they think I'm just gonna be some next melodic rapper that's gonna die in maybe a year or something like that. But that's kind of where switching it up comes into play. Like you said, the music that I have that's out, the singles are a lot more rap heavy versus the project a lot more R&B heavy. I know for me, like when it comes to actually putting a project together, it's gonna be a lot more introspective. It's gonna be a lot more personable, right? But when it comes to just singles, one-off singles, that's kind of where you get to have fun with it, type of thing. That's where the Dirk would come in, maybe the Lil Baby comes in. So like I see it, but at the same time, I'm not really phased by it because I kind of know where I'm going with it.
Yeah.
So I mean, as long as they like it, I'm not complaining.
Yeah, no, that's facts. Because like what I kind of like about it is that it is like a unique vibe to it, like with the sound too. Because like I know with like a lot of like artists, like they want to have like that whole Young Thug, like Lil Baby, Uzi, like that type of sound too. Like Ken Carson, Playboy Cardi.
Mm-hmm.
Like you don't see like a lot of artists like tapping in with the whole like Lil Durk, like, A Boogie, CP Hollow type sound too. And like especially for a Toronto artist or like an artist from the GTA too, like it kind of like helps a lot too because you kind of gain more fan bases from that, especially with like different demographics, like more so with like women, kids, and it kind of like helps you like gain like that net worth in that sense too, like even within the social perception too, which it's amazing to see and all that. So.
Yeah, for sure. Because like I listen to the music, and it's like that's just me. Like I'm really just kind of being me on these songs. So
that's facts, man. How do you sustain yourself financially as an artist?
So other than like the money that I'm making with music, it's so I go door to door, right, with charity. So every day I'm going from about like 12:30 to 8. It pays pretty good, I'll be honest with you. So it does help that way. Other than like financially, kind of like just getting paid from it, it also just helps me just mindset wise. Because it's door to door is one thing, like you can't let your mind take advantage of yourself, right? You can't let it, get too negative. Even if it gets too positive, sometimes that tweaks it out a little bit, So it's like being able to stay on like a constant mental plane, I think has really, really helped me. Just kind of making money through music because it's like, the ups and downs with making money, and it's like, get used to it. So yeah.
And just like knowing like the different ways and all that too. Like because I know even with music you can like try and sell it like with like different ways too. Either, with the whole like door to door, like, like handing out like cards and all that too,
Mhm.
or like even the idea of like Bandcamp too. Like I know like some people like use like Bandcamp for people to like fully support and all that too, or like
Yeah.
Patreon, YouTube, like it kind of helps it either way, so.
Yeah, bro. And it's like, because I'm selling charity, right? So I'm selling a feeling. They're not really getting anything. So it's like, it's translates to music. So I'm selling the feeling as well. You know what I'm saying? And it's a real feeling.
All right. That's blessed, man. And what I've noticed like within the journey and growth, like you've gained over like thousands of streams on like many of your songs on like Spotify. I think you were like playlisted on like a lot of like major Canadian like music playlists, like No Friend Bars, and I think also the Canada's like top hits and all that too. So tell me more about that impact on that and like how it changed like everything for you, like in a way.
It was like, it changed everything, but then it also changed nothing, right? Because it's like you get more people, you get more attention, but it's almost like it just made me, okay, yeah, no, I knew this was gonna happen. So it's almost like I'm still on that path, but it's almost like, okay, now we're just kind of getting more people on the path, So I know when Toronto rappers added me to the playlist, I know it helped a lot when it comes to just the attention. So it's like, it's really building community. So
It's facts, man. And have you ever felt like you've grown as an artist from like the start of your first like music release until like now and all that?
yeah, bro, yeah. The music just got better. Like even the project I put out, I recorded that 2 years ago. You know what I mean? And it's like even from now, the music that I'm listening to now is just, it's gotten so much better. The storyline's getting better. I'm better at storytelling. The melodies are hitting better. Even my voice, my cadences have just gotten sharper. So like the journey, I think is the best part of this whole thing because you get to just see yourself 2 years ago when you made the songs, a year ago when you made a whole another album type of thing.
Yeah. Especially like with the cover arts too and all that, because like when I saw like the Let's Start Over like cover art too, like it feels like very like polished, like unique, like in that sense too. Like it pays like homage to like Thriller like a little bit too, but it has like more of a polished like blue look and all that too, which is like amazing to see and all that, you know.
Hmm.
So
Yeah,
yeah,
bro. Nah,
yeah,
because the blue, like that kind of represents me. Because like my room growing up was blue, just blue, blue, blue out of the little boxes. Me.
yeah,
So that's kind of me, bro. So when I did that pose and I did the album cover, I knew that I wanted this to kind of mean something. And I know when it comes to MJ, everyone knows MJ, everyone loves
yeah.
MJ. Thriller's one of the best albums. So it's like this is how I'm coming. You know what I mean?
Yeah, man, that's facts. You know, being like an artist in the Toronto Canadian like music scene too, like how do you like feel about it? Like at the moment, do you feel like that there should be some changes on the direction of where the scene should go to, or do you feel like it's like fine the way it is?
I think it's doing really well. I'll be honest with you. Like I know there's a lot of people that have talked to me about maybe it should be better. I think we're actually becoming our own community out here. Like the people that I know locally, what I'm saying? Even guys like, Quasi, I'm just seeing them kind of get their own sound going.
Yeah,
You know what I mean? Um, it's like I'm starting to see the sections. Like, you go to Atlanta, there's like a section up here with this type of
yeah,
sound, this type of sound. Like I'm seeing that in Toronto. I know for me, over on the west side, over Hamilton, I'm making that sound, bro. Like I'm coming in a way where it's like, this is what we do on this side of the city. You know what I'm saying?
yeah,
Like I know you guys got, your east side,
yeah.
your Toronto thing going on here, which is great, but don't sleep on us on this side.
Yeah, that's facts, man. Because I know Malvern is like kind of making like a comeback too with like Sav, 100 OTD and all that too.
Hmm.
Brampton with like Quasi, like Ash Kid J, Lil Trench and all that too. Like
Hmm.
even with the R&B stuff too. So it is like amazing to see too. And like a lot of like the tastemakers and like, you know, like the platform owners, like they're kind of making their best too. And, you know, you're actually going to be opening up for Quasi and Charmaine soon and all that too. So how do you feel about that?
Bro, I'm just locked in. You know what I'm saying? Like it's the same thing. Like I remember a couple of years ago, I was kind of looking at these guys as like, okay, this is where we got to get to, but it's almost like we're getting there, and it's like we're in these places, and it's like I'm supposed to be here, because like I've been slept on for a long time, and I'm just locked in, ready to show people.
Yeah, man, that's facts. It's amazing to see and all that too. And
Hell yeah.
like usually have a playlist called like TLOY's Rising Acts where I put like a variety of songs. Like it's updated like every like month and all that too for artists that were like on the platform and like also like artists to like look out for too. So for people that wanna like tap in with you like, you know, musically, like in that sense too. So like name free songs like in your catalog that you would like to recommend for any person that hasn't heard about you or that would like to know more about you so that we could like add that to the playlist.
3 songs. So song one, I'd say Friend Zone. So if you know me from high school, you know me. I've been in the friend zone, by the way. Like anyways, like it's one of those things. Like it was personal to me, right? So it's you know, I've been in this position where like you want a surety, sure you don't want you, but she kind of wants your attention, so she puts you in the friend zone. Just stay over there. Maybe due time you'll be
Yeah.
my man, type of thing. So it's like just that was part of the reason why I started getting into music, is because like I had to kind of get these things off my chest. I wanted to talk about these things. So friend zone is definitely up there. Um, Another song I'd say is On My Mind. It's kind of an old one, but it's a great one. I mean, um, yeah, I know that we best friends, but I can be your husband. Same same thing with Friend Zone. You know what I'm
Yeah.
saying? It just kind of tells you more about how it was me, before, I really dived into the music, right? And the last one, man, a third song, I'd have to go One Last Chance.
Okay.
You know what I'm saying? It's R&B vibes. One of those things where it's like I made that song in about a half hour because it just came out naturally. It just flowed because it's one of those natural songs.
Okay.
And it's just a vibe.
Yeah, that's facts, man. And you know, you have the show coming up, like the EP's like out now, like it's gaining like a lot of like traction and all that too. So
Mhm.
what else do you have going on for this year in terms of like any like releases, projects, events, and so forth?
Yeah, so I know for Let's Start Over, I'm have an open mic I'm just gonna put out soon. We rent out this nice spot. We got an open mic going. So performing 3 of the songs. I'm doing Stuck on You, Friend Zone, and Let's Start Over.
All right.
Look out for that. It's gonna be on the YouTube soon. Um, and for videos, man, we got a bunch of videos coming up in terms of music videos. I know we got Through the Blaze. We're shooting a video for soon. Um, Yeah, I mean, I don't know if you know, Drew filmed it.
I think so. Yeah.
Yeah. So he tapped in with me because I mean, the videographer Jackson Tyndall that shot Let's Start
Yeah.
Over, he recommended the song to Drew, and I guess Drew really took a liking to it. So he's been chatting with him, kind of hitting me up, kind of see what we could do together. If that means we got to go to Tampa. I've been out there a bunch of times. My brother lives out there, so I mean, it's one of those things like just tap in and see kind of what works, what doesn't work. I mean, but yeah, no videos coming up, man. A lot of videos, a lot of interviews, a lot of shows. So we're gonna be in your face a lot.
Yeah, man. Because I know of Drew, like he's also like the second hand to 100K track on 100K like Remain Solitude, because I know like they're doing their thing with like 1900 like Rugrat and all that too. El Snapo, they're still doing this. They're still doing some stuff like YNW, like Melly, King Von too. So it is amazing to see like where that like growth is going. I think their label is connected with like 300 Entertainment too. So like, hey, maybe you might get sent to 300 and all that too,
Hey man, you know how that goes. But yeah, even B Slime tapped in as well.
Yeah,
Melly's brother. Yeah, so I mean, this is we're going up, man. So I'm just locked in.
Yeah, man. Do you have any closing remarks you'd like to say and all that?
Yeah. Be honest with you guys. So, like I said, I'm from Oakville. Been making music for about the past 8 years. This story is something you're gonna have to follow along with, because it's gonna be something that you've experienced before. I'll be honest with you. Like, Let's Start Over the project. That's just the encompassing story. Everyone's kind of been through that. You want a girl, get to you. You know what I'm saying? You got the girl, stuck on you. You know what I'm saying? Maybe they'll messed up a little bit, friend zone. Now she kind of don't want you no more. She kind of in the friend zone side. Let's run it back. Let's start over. Let's do this all over again. Through the Blaze is that song where it's okay, shorty's kind of messing with you a little bit. You feeling yourself. Let's go to the club. You know what I'm saying? Let's get a joint going. Kind of relax a little bit. But then, by the time the day ends, you're like, wow, I'm thinking about this girl a lot. You know what I'm saying? You think about her day and night. Can't really get her off your mind. We've all been there. So I mean, I'm just kind of putting it into words, into songs. Me and Home Run, we got a bunch of music together, and I got a couple projects with him. So the following project of Let's Start Over is going to be another album called Songs Is All I Have. A lot of the songs, Home Run produced it. So like it's really a story, and it's like you're like, when I was actually going through my relationship like 2 years ago, this is all these songs are what it's about. So I mean, you're gonna get the start to the end, the middle, the good, the bad, the ugly, all that stuff. So if that's something that you can relate to, just in terms of having somebody and losing that person, like you're really gonna like the album, because it's like the melodies are on point. The bars are on point. You're gonna understand what's going on. So I mean, you're tired of the same old music you get to hear. Okay, cool. 1-2 song, hit song there. But if you want those albums that you're gonna like hold dear to your heart, listen to this, man, because it's coming from a real place.
Okay, that's
what I mean.
And they could follow you like on IG and TikTok and all that, right?
Yeah. So on IG, TikTok, it's B-Row World. So B.ROWORLD, B-Row World. But yeah, man.
All right, that's facts, man.
We locked in.
B-Row.
Yes,
dope
sir.
having you on, man.
Yeah,
like dope hearing your story and all that too. Like just like hearing your journey and all that. And yeah, like I mean, we'll definitely like recommend the project, and like for every other event that you're gonna do. And I wish nothing but the best and all that. So
thanks, Yashu, bro.
Yeah, man, we'll definitely keep in touch. And,
you already know.
This is Josh, also known as Yashu, on another episode of the TLOY Talks podcast with Oakville's own B-Row. You can get this on all platforms: Spotify, Apple Podcasts, YouTube, Buzzsprout, Patreon, much more. Definitely check out like B-Row's like music. Definitely check out the show coming up too, if you're in like the area and all that. Definitely check out like some of the other acts as well too, and like definitely stay tuned for his upcoming project. And it's gonna be a vibe either way too. So this is Josh, also known as Yashu, with B-Row, signing off.
Yes, sir.